Nice. There we go. Good to see everyone. Nika, Victoria, Ella, Ray, welcome, welcome, welcome. Chris, welcome back. Good to see everyone again. Today is going to be fun. Hello, Nika. Good to see you. Ray, thank you for sharing. And then also, let me put the video link for yesterday's video plus the PDF workbook guide for everything that we did yesterday. You guys get a free gift just for showing up. Let me see if I can find that though. So give it a moment. I'll put that in the chat. Timothy, good to see you again. Nuala, good to see you. Joseph, Lana, welcome, welcome. Today's going to be a fun day. We're going to teach you more advanced AI app building. What that is going to encompass is teaching you VS Code and Claude Code because Google Gemini and Google AI Studio isn't the only AI developer in town. There is Claude. And once you drink from the Claude Kool-Aid, oh my gosh, you are going to be addicted to Claude and it's going to be a bad addiction. Please apologize for all the extra subscriptions that you're going to need because you're going to be building a lot with Claude. Before we begin, today's agenda is I just want to spend just a few minutes going over if anyone took the challenge yesterday and built anything with Google AI Studio. I'd love to just show maybe at least two people, just kind of go over and say, what did you build? I'd love to see. Even if it's just something, doesn't matter if it's published. I just want to see what people built. I'm excited for that. And then the other side is we'll go into the setup for setting up Claude and VS Code. And then I got some demos what we're going to be doing with Claude Code. I think we could get by on the free plan of Claude, but it's going to hit the usage limit. So for it, but I do have an alternative for the people that are like, you know what, John, $20 a month for Claude Code is a little too much. I'm going to show you another free alternative, caveat with free. But yes. Who would like to volunteer first? And actually, to answer quick Victoria's question, what specs do you recommend for an Apple computer for buying the building and development? What type of Apple computer? This is huge. I love this question. Um, please do dump your Windows computer as quickly as possible. It is holding you back so much in the digital world. AI, basically every business has to digitize themselves and has to use the best hardware. Please, when I say just do not use Windows. For Mac, you could use any Mac M1 chip. I'm rocking a MacBook Pro. You could even rock a MacBook Air. It's only unless your role or your job or your project where if you're an IT or developer, stay in Windows. You're fine. You're comfortable there. Most people aren't just comfortable with like taking everything apart with Windows. Because I need something that's like simple, reliable, that lets them scale. Any Mac Tower Mini, they have the pucks, any M1 chip, honestly. Now, where this is going to be like, hey, I want to make an investment and actually get a hardware computer that's actually going to grow with me, where because eventually if you're really hungry to learn all what's possible with AI, you're eventually going to get to a point where you're like, John, I don't want to pay all the subscriptions for text, for image, for any of those. I want to cut all subscriptions. So eventually, all roads lead towards local, private AI models and automation running on your own computer, not in the cloud. Your data's not sent anywhere. This is also a really good use case if you deal with sensitive information. That so if you're just daily driver, business owner, just use the computer, just play with ChatGPT, GenSpark, Claude, Gemini, stuff like that. Anything 16 gig memory minimum, and then a M1 chip, basically is like the minimum. Anything above that is going to be gravy. If you're like, hey, I want to get serious and start running local offline models on my computer, then you're going to get into you need if you're in the Mac world, you're going to get like the Max towers that have like 32 minimally gigabytes of RAM. 64 would be even better. And then storage at least 1 terabyte, and then M chip. an M4 Max works really well for you could hook up like 13 billion parameter models running online locally. I know I'm speaking super nerdy, but everyone, I'll show everyone this too. Everyone has the everyone has the ability to run offline private large language models locally on your computer. Data is not sent to any third-party service. And then, yeah, base specs, 16 gig M1 minimum. It could be even a MacBook Air, honestly, because everything runs in the cloud. You just need a browser and multiple tabs is the most demand, basically. So yeah, if you can get into the macro with the MacBook Air, that's going to save you a ton. And then over time, you could upgrade. It's mostly the RAM of multiple tabs open for multiple models. And then when we get into the VS Code stuff, for sure, you'll notice the difference. RAM 16 gigs minimum, and then yeah, M1 as well too. So, and mine's an old, I think mine's like a 2020 MacBook Pro M1 16 gig. I was rocking a MacBook Air 16 gig M1 for like 2 years before that, and no problem. So, yep, good questions. 16 gig RAM is like the minimum because you're mostly everything's going to be in the browser type stuff. Nice. Hopefully that answers that question. But yeah, let me know. I love talking about the hardware you need is going to make so much the difference. Trust me. Even the software that we use on the Mac computer, I get 10 extra productivity just with just some software on there, like voice to text, navigation, but we'll talk about that later. So who would like to demo or share their screen and just share what they built? I'm just kind of curious. At least one volunteer. Ray, go for it, Ray. And I'll give you superpowers to share your screen.
Hey, Jonathan. So background, born and raised in Brooklyn, moved to PA because I bought a house here for like vacation. I like to go out, go a lot of places. Missed that in Brooklyn. So I'm always scouring the internet and Facebook groups for things to do, but it's scattered everywhere, right? So I kind of want to build a website, centralize it, get all this data, and bring it to one place.
Let's go.
So I created a NEPA vibes page. Um,
Oh, guide to what's happening. Yo, nice.
just to, I mean, I'm part of a Facebook group that someone compiles all this information. If you guys can see it, you see it's got the band, the venues, the
Yep.
date. So I took that just to get it on the page, imported to Gemini, so extract it, built all this stuff. Um, so I imported all this. So I have my music, food,
Hmm.
classes, exactly, right? And then what I did on the admin side, because I want to make
Yep.
it life easier for me. So if I log into my admin page,
Let's go.
I wanted
Let's
to be able to add events manually. I wanted to be able to modify what I have there, add any, my restaurant spotlights, my images, my videos.
yes, yes.
Um, and then also I wanted to compile all these things so it's not re-uploading the same. So I'll list all the venues, add all the band pictures, all the venue pictures. And then the other thing I wanted to do, which is kind of working semi, is I want to just take screenshots and import them, scan it.
Mhm.
So if I
Yep.
put it here, you'll see it start scanning,
Yep.
right? And and it puts all this stuff in here, but
Let's go.
it's not 100%. So
That's
I'm
still really
fighting.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm fighting with these guys to kind of, hey, you're not getting it right, and I'm back and forth with Gemini, right? Um,
Ah, interesting. Yeah.
Right. You see the image, you see how it is. I wanted to grab the name, grab the location. It's not 100%. You see what it's doing here,
hmm
right?
And it may just be switching out the model underneath the hood. We could ask him like which model he may be using like a 2.5 flash, like a light version. If he or he we could switch the model to like a Gemini 3 because Gemini has the ability to like OCR image to text, like receipts and invoices are a great example. So it may just be tweaking the model that could take care of that.
Yeah, not sure because I know when I did in Gemini, I said it couldn't scan it or it couldn't build it kind of. But then I told, hey, I'm going to upload to Vercel. And it's all
Mhm.
right, we'll recode it so you can throw it up there and I'll get the OCR working for you. So I'm back and forth saying, hey, you didn't get it right. I snapshot it. This is what it's looking like, the output. And then it goes back, all right,
Mhm.
let me try this. Let me try to change it to black and white. It's me back and forth with it. And then I mean the other thing I would like to do on this piece, where is it? Um, maybe eventually have it dump it into Excel and then batch import the Excel, you know?
Yep.
Um,
This is awesome.
that's what I did. And I started this at 9 this morning.
For what you built in a time, again, a beautiful layout, dashboard, aesthetics. You have the really interesting thing is the database, storing the data, presenting it. Again, trying to do this manually would have took weeks.
Like I
Hooking
first
up.
tried to do this in Claude months ago,
Hmm.
and even Lovable, and I was just frustrated, so I left it alone. And then when we were playing yesterday, I said, you know, let me try Gemini. Um, Knocked it out.
Hmm.
I mean, I built my business website in Claude, um, and I have it actually in GHL because I'm playing with GHL.
Hmm.
Um,
You can embed the so you can vibe code the website and then you could just copy the HTML and then paste it inside of an HTML block inside of go high level and then it will take up the whole
it-
screen.
yeah, so that's what I did.
Nice.
That's what I did with my business website. So I actually finished this on yesterday. In fact, when we were on the phone, I mean, on the video, I was
Yeah, there we
working
go.
with this. So I created this in Claude. I embedded it into GHL.
Perfect. Yep. Now that's the whole superpowers because then for everyone to go high level is basically a marketing and sales system underneath the hood. It does the CRM, the automation, the email text, mobile apps. So if you're looking for like a business like tool underneath the hood, think of it like a souped up stand store. Basically, you could collect payments, CRM, automations are really powerful, build websites, funnels, and stuff like that. But now
Automate.
with
Yeah.
this is perfect.
And this is all Claude AI. And then I
Mhm.
embedded the GHL form.
That's perfect. That's the easiest way to set it up.
But the Gemini is pretty cool. How it was so easy to get it going. I
It,
find it, I think maybe even a little bit better than Claude, I think.
yeah, it's because that's why I like throwing people into Google, Gemini, and then also I'm going to showcase anti-gravity today, which is just their VS Code version of that. Because a lot of people just have a really good experience with it. Just easy, intuitive. It hooks up the features. It makes a nice, beautiful UI. It's all functional. It's all built in their tech stack. And then it makes it easy to get it to push and add features, integrating all sorts of other stuff, AI, forms, stuff like that. Um, Very, very powerful. And you'll find sometimes, like I switched from Codex, ChatGPT Codex to Claude because ChatGPT couldn't fix a bug, Claude could. So switching between the different models, Gemini, Claude, and I'll actually show you some how to get some extra ones too. Um,
Yeah,
each
I
one
subscribe
has a different.
to Chat and Claude right now. So Chat and Claude are the two ones I subscribe to.
Mhm. That's more than enough for what you need to get anything coded, built, and stuff like that.
Then I was going to look into Ada NAN, but not sure yet. Because now you mentioned Claude could do that kind of.
Yeah,
So uh,
that's a good topic of Zapier, Make.com, NAN kind of pretty much become irrelevant to learn and know or to even play with because once you get into, and I'll show you today, Cloud Code, you can build the most complex automation with logic and API calls and databases and user interfaces. Once you build automation, even if you have any, you can migrate them over into Claude. And then you get, that's the cool thing. If you have to make any changes, oh my God, I got to find the node, fill out the form, test it. Hopefully it works. Hopefully they have the node and I got to figure out some logic. Versus Claude Code, you're like, I wanted to do ABC. And it's like, sure, I'll hook it all up, do all the coding. You don't have to write any of the code, but you get the most freedom, let's say.
yeah, it'd be great because I would like to do some blogging and have that all automated. Latest trends and all that stuff.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Ray, for sharing. This is huge for, again, building in the short amount of time. to take an idea to proof of concept. You could start farming that out. I mean, people even hit you up. How did you do it? I didn't. And then you tell them how fast that you did it. They're like, "What? My web developer is still working on a landing page, and I haven't heard back from him." And you're like, "Where is he?" That is awesome. Thank you so much, Ray. I'm gonna switch in just for time and again, thank you so much for taking the challenge too. For everyone else who took the challenge, I more want you guys just to play, just to press the buttons, with no pressure of like, oh my God, I got to build this automation for some project due or something like that. I highly recommend whether it be Claude or any AI tool that you learn in general. When it comes time to learning a new tool, the first thing that you're going to do is just play. Just open up, sign up for an account, press my rule as a, if you're in my class, press all the buttons. You can't break anything, honestly. So go and press. What does that button do? What happens if I do this? What does this do? And then I recommended yesterday having a pair partner, ChatGPT, GenSpark, Claude, really doesn't matter, but just having some chat on the side, to help you with brainstorming, troubleshooting. Because one of the biggest things with the workflows is you don't want all of your credits being used in the actual chat or the build. So one is just little housekeeping. I'm going to put this in the chat and you guys can't see my screen even. There we go. That's a Zoom thing. Give me one moment. I have presents for you guys. Presents? What? Yes, you all get presents. Step number one. Nice. Now you guys can see my screen. Sweet. So, present number one in the chat, I am going to put the YouTube video for yesterday's entire workshop. So if you want to replay, go through, recap any of the things that we did yesterday, plus Gemini wrote out all the timestamps so you could quickly jump to any of the parts in the timestamps for it. So that's there. The next thing I want to give you guys is a PDF workbook based on yesterday's presentation. So, because this is actually a really good workflow. Let me copy this link and put this in the Zoom chat. So in the Zoom chat is a link to a Google Drive where I share this file right here. I like showing workflows because you guys learn a lot of interesting things, just how different people work. So I took the transcript from yesterday's entire video, basically, from Fathom, and dumped that into GenSpark. I know we're gonna get into coding and their stuff, but uh, if you haven't, I highly recommend. If you have 25 bucks to spend, you want to spend some money on the best AI, GenSpark will completely change how you work. Where ChatGPT like hallucinates and fudges numbers and is a pain in the butt to work with. GenSpark is basically underneath the hood you have there's like over 9 large language models. They have their own training data that they use to verify. So when you submit a request through GenSpark's going to do very thorough deep research. Plus also he's going to take it all the way to the finish lines where he's going to create presentation and slides for you. He will fill out and edit Excel files and sheets. He will edit, create, and write all of your Microsoft Word or Google Doc documents. He will also build all of your apps that you want to build. And then graphic design, and then you also have the regular chat where you get access to all the you get access to like Claude, Gemini, ChatGPT. If you want to talk to any of the models just like you normally do, you can do it in here. You also could generate images and video from here with Nano Banana. They give you access. Basically, with chat, image, and video, they just go and pull like 5 of the best chat models. That's your Gemini, ChatGPT, Claude. Image models like Nano Banana, Seed Dance, and then video models, which is like Sora and VO3. You get access to all of those and these tools inside of GenSpark, and then it also does meeting notes and transcriptions. I bring him up because I do this workflow a lot. I'm gonna put this prompt in the chat. This is a prompt I use over and over again. If you're like John, all of that text just appeared on your screen and you didn't type anything, you didn't even use voice to text. How did you make that all that text just appear? That is called, these are called snippets. And the tool I'm using is completely free. It's called Text Blaze. It is a Chrome extension and free account. Good question. Is GenSpark like Galaxy? GenSpark is way far beyond Galaxy. Galaxy is more like a repot. They just give you access to different models. GenSpark is more like an executive assistant that's PhD level that will do research and then generate documents, videos, texts, all sorts of stuff, which is he is a beast of a tool. GenSpark just doesn't do anything sh fast or short. He does everything thorough and he's going to take his time putting together the right answer so that you can feel confident, strategy, stuff like that. TextBlaze is completely free. Let me also put this in the chat because once you have it in your Chrome extension, you could create these what's called snippets. So if you type a specific keyword or phrase like this, it will automatically replace that with whatever paragraph or text, for example. So that prompt that I said, so if you watch my screen, I'm going to type three keys, slash W, and then as soon as I press O, it's going to delete everything and type out this whole pre-prompted template. There we go. So and then I use this prompt over and over again. I rarely use prompts repeatedly, but this one's really good. This one is really what this does is I'll take the transcript, such as from yesterday's entire video. We're like, oh my God, we covered a lot of topics yesterday for my learning and what I love doing. I'll take that whole transcript word for word with this prompt, paste it into GenSpark, and click go. And GenSpark is going to create this beautiful document. So it actually will write out the whole Word document, stylize it the way you want. And so this is a complete workbook, start to finish, covering all of the topics that we did yesterday. As a teacher, this completely changes how I teach and also how I learn. So as a hack, really powerful for taking transcripts, or videos, transcribing them, turning them into PDF workbooks, guides, cheat sheets, lead magnets, books also too. Very, very powerful and takes no effort. All I did was just take the transcript and just say, hey, GenSpark, you do it. And it takes everything, organizes it. So I don't type Word documents anymore. GenSpark does it. So, but GenSpark's for another day. Today, we are going to focus on Claude and VS Code. For this exercise, this will require a $20 subscription to Claude. I think you could get by on the free plan just for some light dabbling, but Claude is going to be another powerful developer in your back pocket that will help you. That sometimes Gemini, the difference that you want to use like Gemini versus Claude Code. Claude is very universal, very powerful for building huge scale apps. He also has um, a huge context window that can ingest your entire code base, and then basically, let's see, just log in. Know what you're doing. But all AI in general, just as a caveat, when they build, AI doesn't know your goals, doesn't know when is the app done. It doesn't look at your whole app and be like, hey, you should probably, it's not going to give you like best practices as like it's what AI as a developer does. They really just have narrow focus to be like, hey, build this, fix this, do this. And so they have a lot of tunnel vision, I like saying. Ray says, so would you use GenSpark rather than Claude for document writing? Actually, Claude is the best for writing and also coding right now. I'm writing a book that's going to get published on Amazon. Actually, for context, to actually show you guys this, because this will actually pertain to our first project that we're going to do with Claude. Um, Highly recommend. get more from comfortable using folders as a feature in any AI tool that you use. ChatGPT has folders. Claude also has projects. In GenSpark, they're called hubs. All of them function pretty much the same, where you can put together, you can add resources such as files, and then also give like system context to be like, hey, you're going to help me write a book for Amazon, because writing a book is a huge endeavor. It takes a lot of time, months, and lots of information to organize. Becomes effortless when you start using folders too. And I recommend create two folders to work everything out of, one for business and one for life. That way, all of your conversations in, let's say, the business folder, the business hub, um, with folders, AI gets smarter over time. It gets more personalized. That's one of the biggest trends, is that AI is not just personalized to you. So that's why it's like talking to a goldfish every single day. So if you start using projects, and then in that project have one Google Doc or Word doc that has everything about like the North Star, the project, the context, it will always reference that, to help with whatever projects, which is super helpful. This is actually relevant because when you start working with folders, GenSpark, ChatGPT, Cloud really doesn't matter. They're all going to have some limitation on memory, on either the size of the PDF files that you could upload, or the number of files that you could upload, just because of size. So if I have a bunch of books and I want to put into my project hub, I'm going to hit that capacity really quickly. So I want a way that I could take some books. And by the way, if you are a book nerd, congratulations, you're in the right place. I have another free gift for you. You guys are getting all these free gifts because it's Christmas. Santa's coming early. Congratulations and many blessings to you. This is Ocean of PDF. Actually, this is one of three sites I'm going to give you guys. So you get three Christmas presents. If you're a book nerd and you love reading, these are free websites that you could download any book. And most of the books are either going to be in one of the three websites that I'll give you. So if I search here, Think and Grow Rich, searches, you don't need an account. There's nothing, it's all completely free. You could click on the book itself, scroll down to the bottom, and then you will see a PDF or an EPUB version. When you click on the PDF, it would just take a moment, open a tab, and then go ahead and start downloading down here in a moment, because we're actually going to use this for as an example too. There it goes. Boom. Okay, so now it's downloading, and now we have this whole book. And there. So go shopping. And then for my super nerds, um, highly recommend use that was yeah, that works. Use Notion as your second brain and your digital notebook. There's a lot of AI tools, like let's just call it your daily tech stack. Outside of just AI in general, yeah, Claude and GenSpark, all the other ones. Outside of those, you need a digital notebook to stay organized in the digital world. As you start downloading books, you're going to have lots of books and lots of files. You need a place to store them that's not on your computer. So Notion is, just to me, the best digital notebook. It does have a high learning curve. We do teach it in the community, but just create one list or database inside Notion called books. And that's your digital Alexander library, where you could just upload them. They're saved there forever. And you have a nice place to organize all these books. Just real quick too, there's also, if you can't find the book on Ocean of PDF, here's your second present. This is Anna's Archive. Anna's Archive. There we go. Anna's Archive is the same as Ocean of PDF. It's just a repository of books. Think and Grow Rich. They have a larger library. And then I know you have that, but come on. There we go. When you look at the books, just take a note at the file type. This one's PDF. This one's a different file size. This one's an EPUB. So that's one thing that you'll take a note for. And then when you find a book, it would just go down or go down to these slow downloads. Click on the link here. They're going to see, are you human? Which I think we are. It's going to count down for like a minute. And then after 1 minute is done, this will change and there will be a little download link. And then you could download. It just takes it's a little slower for Anna's Archive, but another place you'll find it. And then if you haven't, last one for GIF is archive.org. Archive.org, they have, in addition to books, many other things. So you can find many, that way you can find the book basically anywhere here. So these are many different books. The only difference is here, do recommend creating an account completely free and you can check out books. It's like a digital library. Um, nice. We will talk about faceless videos at the very end, Joanna, but I definitely want to talk about that. That's a good topic. So now that you have your books, here's the big caveat, and this is actually going to segue into our first project. Because not everything is a website or an app. For example, we're going to start very simple. So we're going to use VS Code. It functions basically like a text editor. That's all it is. It's just a text editor, completely free and open source. And this is going to be our text editor so that we can organize our folders and write our and have Claude write all our code. That's all. Once you download this, it's for Windows and PC as well too. So go ahead and download that. Also, if you can too, log into your Claude account. So create a Claude account and then log into it because we're going to use that to connect. So once you install VS Code and you open it up, it's going to look like this. The way VS Code works is we're always going to start in a folder. And there's really two folders that I want you to start. So you're going to go to your, I recommend your documents folder, wherever that is. Let me just, this a little bigger. So on your computer, just go to your documents folder and create one folder. You could just, I think if you two fingers, using two fingers, you could click in like the dead space. And then there's like new folder, but it's like you got to find like the dead space, and then you can click new folder. So create a folder and call it my apps, my programs, Claude projects, VS Code projects, something that's relevant to you. I recommend when you name things, spam it with keywords because on that day of finding it, you'll be like, oh, was it programs? Was it app? Be kind to your future self, as I say. Inside that folder, this is going to be the hub for all of your projects that you're going to be coding and building. Create one folder in there. We're going to create one. So create one folder in there and then call it PDF converter. We'll just call it PDF converter because we're going to, as a business use case, hey, we have this book that we just downloaded, but if the file size of it right now it's like 3.2 megabytes, that's fine for like most project folders. But if you want to push or if you want to put a ton of knowledge into your project hubs from books, from experts, so that your project hub, your AI becomes super expert in that one project, topic, industry, interest, role that you work in. That's really what the superpower is. Go find other books that are related to your industry, your role, your expertise, download them, and then put them in a hub, a folder, so that your AI, Claude, ChatGPT, GenSpark, any one of those, becomes super smart with a lot of these books. But what we're going to do is we're going to shrink the file size and say we have 10 books too, for example, for this use case. So what we're going to do for this first project is inside, I'm actually going to create a new folder here. So I call mine Python programs. Excuse me, I'm going to create a new folder and call this PDF converter. And I'm just going to put that inside of my programs right here. Uh, and then I'm going to put if you, let's see, I think it's if you hit Control or Command and then you click, it will open two tabs in your Finder folder. This way, I can go to my download folder, take this PDF file, and drop it in that folder that we're working with. As a first step, when you're working, come on, little guy. There we go. When you're working with building a project or a folder, or you're basically you're gonna there are three things that you could build with AI. You can build tools, you can build apps, or you can build websites, is like the easiest way to think about it. Here, we're going to start very simple. We're going to build a tool. And the tool is going to convert this PDF to a text file so that we could put that text file inside our project hub. And now we could put 10 times the amount of information in that project hub because we're just converting the file size and making it smaller and shorter, basically. So if you had a bunch of, let's say, 10 books that you're going to put in the hub, so now that and that's all we're doing just to set up before we bring in AI. We're going to create a folder and we're going to put any resources or assets that we need inside that folder. And that's pretty much our job to set it up for Claude to come in. That's all we're doing. So once we're in VS Code, there's really two places that you're going to be hanging out. On the left-hand side, there's the Explorer, which is just opens your folders. That's all it does. So let's go ahead and open a folder. You could also, from the home screen, you could click open. And we're going to find that folder, which is going to be in your documents. And then it's going to be in your programs folder. And then here I have the PDF to converter open. So the only thing in this folder is that PDF, basically. So that's all that's there. Now, there is a couple things that we need to add um, to VS Code to give it superpowers. So the next thing we're going to do on the left-hand side, the icon that looks like little Lego blocks, that is for extensions. And if you hover your mouse over the line, you can kind of shrink or expand. And here we're going to download three extensions. Of course, first one's going to be Claude. So if you just search Claude, look for the one that says Claude Code for VS Code. And when you click on it, it's like going shopping. And all of these things are free-ish. We're going to click on this, and yours will say install right here. So we'll click install, and then it's installed. Perfect. Next one you're going to download is Live Server. So when you click on it, Live Server by Ricky has 512 reviews. Go ahead and install this one right here. This specific tool allows us to view websites if when we're building websites, basically. And then the last one is called Continue. And Continue functions just like Claude, but the only difference is with Continue, you can hook up or you could connect any other AI model. There's Mistral, there's DeepSeek, there's Llama, there's many different models, especially when you hit your Claude usage limits and you're like, oh man, I'm out of limits or I'm out of usage and I'm on timeout. You can switch over to continue, hook up another AI model, and then keep jamming, basically. So I'm going to show you that. And then I think also Gemini, you could also, if you really want, you could put Gemini in here, coding assist, and then you can hook this up. Cool. So those are the only extensions that you need. Now, now we're going to connect Claude. So Claude likes to hide for whatever reason. So there are a couple ways to find Claude. If you go to the search bar and type Claude, oh, no, it's going to be Command Shift P as in Paul, Command Shift P as in Paul. Brings up this little command thing, and then you could type Claude, and then that will bring up Claude to come up. Your first Claude will look like this. Yeah, so when you first open Claude, he's going to look like this, and he's going to say, hey, I'd love to log in to your Claude account. So just make sure you are logged into Claude on your browser, which I'm logged in here. As long as you're just logged in, doesn't matter where. So then in VS Code, I'm going to click on the Claude subscription here. It's going to say, hey, love to open a browser? Sure. It's going to log in, use my credentials, and say, hey, would you like to connect Claude to your account? I'm going to say yes and authorize. Cool. We're going to build something. And then if we go back, now Claude is ready to go. So Claude's hooked up, and that's pretty much it for our setup as far as our one-time thing. Now we're ready to start coding. And the way this kind of looks is that you have your folders on your left-hand side. You have Claude right here, which is going to start your chat. And for Claude, as long as you create the folder in here, and then you have all of the resources and files in there, with Claude, and remember, we're going to use voice to text, always voice to text, no more typing. And we're just going to tell it there's two principles I want you to keep in mind. One principle is code fixes all. So if you're like, man, I wish this happened automatically on my computer, this something I have to do repeatedly or anything like that, most likely code can fix it. And we're going to use code or Claude. And then the second thing is to write a Python program. Python as a language, and you will never have to write a single line of Python. Although I do recommend learning the very basics of just how to read a Python program will benefit you so much, but you never have to write code. You never have to get into the advanced stuff, but just on a very basic level, for example. Yes. Claude, just to double check to hook him up on the left-hand side, make sure you have him under extensions. Go to Claude. So there's Claude, and then once you install him, he likes to hide for whatever reason. I haven't figured out how to not make him hide, but if he doesn't show up, he's going to show up. When you click on the file, sometimes that will open up Claude's little icon right here. It's this tiny little orange icon right here. That's one way to make him come out and show. If he doesn't show here, then the hack is if you're on Windows, Command Shift P as in Paul. If you're on Mac, it's Control, or actually that's PC, Control Shift P as in Paul. And then if you're, I think also, you can just type this arrow, the left arrow. That's also much easier. You could type the left arrow and just type Claude and then press enter and Claude comes up. I don't know why Claude hides for the first time. It's like the weirdest thing. Cool. So now that I have Claude all set up, there's only really like two things that kind of like adding here. One, if you press the at symbol, you can reference any specific file or folder. So if I had a bunch of files in here, I could press the at symbol and then it will show a list of all of the files in here. And then if I click on it, now I could be very hyper specific and say, hey, Claude, this file, I want you to do XYZ or something. But we don't have to. So I'm going to talk to Claude like he's a college intern on his first day of work with me, and I'm going to give him an assignment to, I need this converted to text, and I want you to use Python. That's the most of I'm going to say. I'm not going to say how to fix it or what other stuff. So now, voice to text. Hey Claude, I want you have a PDF file in the folder. I want you to write a Python program that converts any of the PDF files in this folder, because there may be one or more, into a text file. Oh yeah, using Python. Oh, I did. Okay, using Python. Cool, cool, cool. That's pretty much it. We're just gonna pop that in the oven and let him cook. So Python is such a well documented language, coding language, that there are tons of libraries and pre-made extensions and GitHub repositories where if there's something you want to automate or build, most likely it's already been done. Also, most likely it's already been done in Claude or in nice. Jeez, that was fast. Okay, sweet. So Claude is done, and this is the use case is we're building a tool. Say you have to do something manual on your computer. This is just a real simple example of converting many PDF files into text files so that we could dump them into our project hubs. So, and then we didn't have to write a single line of code. So we gave our request to Claude. Claude's like, hey, cool. Now, actually, too, let me also put this in the chat so that way you guys can have that chat too. That's the prompt. So, and it's not so much prompts I want you to memorize. I more rather you, one, use voice to text and just brain dump. Like that's going to be the most of like more beneficial, like just you giving voice or more context to it. And then second, treat all AI like a college intern on their first day of work for you. You're going to check their work. You're going to micromanage them and give them specific, hey, do this, and I want you to make sure do. That's more of the best way I want you to have when you and also too when it comes to like prompting. So he's done. He's going to say, cool, I've created a Python program. Here's the name of the program, and here's some features. And it's now the cool thing about what Claude is, the reason why we're also using Claude on your computer is because Claude could do two things. One, automatically he could create folders on your computer and files, and he could also run terminal commands. That is a huge weight off of what you have to do as far as like, oh my God, as a developer, I gotta create the folders and create the files and download dependencies and download other third-party software that Claude is going to do all of that, which is super nice. So Claude writes the program to run the program. We're going to run terminal. So in the top menu bar, there's a terminal. Click on that and choose new terminal. If you want to get super nerdy, um, Control Shift, and it's the squiggly line that's to the left of the number one on your keyboard or the little dash. That will bring it as a keyboard shortcut for terminal. So here the command is always we're going to call, and he'll tell you what to do. Like you could just say, hey, Claude, I'm a beginner. What do I do? So anytime you're like, oh my God, like literally tell Claude, hey, I'm a beginner. I'm not a coding developer. Like, can you guide me? Tell me what you're doing. It's the best education in coding because you're like, it gives you all the answers and you're like, what are you doing? Can you show me the code and teach, show me why you're doing what you're doing? So he is now going to take over and just say, you know what? I'm going to run the command. You didn't even have to run the terminal command. How spoiled. Wow. So Claude, what Claude did is he just went to the terminal command, typed Python 3, and then it's always going to be some pairing. It's like Python 3 and then whatever the name of your program is. And if you look right here, it's PDF to text.py. So if I type PDF to text.py, so it's just the name of the file, and I press enter, it's going to run. He's reading all 397 pages. Done. So if you blinked in that 1 second, he read all 397 pages. He just went that entire book, converted it to a text file, which is right here. Now this is dope. So if I click on here, this is the new file that was created. Claude created this, which is the Python program. And if I click on this, now we have a text file that is just the entire book, but just as a raw text. Where this is important is if you go to your computer to find that file. So right here, here's the file Napoleon Hill, 3.2 megabytes. We've dropped it down to 700 kilobytes, which is super small. What that means is that now I could take this text file, go to Claude right here, or any AI tool where you have a project folder. It could be a project folder in Claude, it could be a folder inside of ChatGPT. GenSpark calls them hubs. And so here now I can click on the plus symbol, upload, and then I can now add my new textbook, which is a PDF converter. And there's the text file, and I'll click open. And now he's going to add. I already have this thing maxed out. 99%. So he's like, yo, I can't fit anything else. So, but now you could put almost like 2 to 3 times more information now. So this is just using Claude to write tools. Now again, I could have purchased Adobe subscription, which would have been the alternative. You're like, oh my God, I got to pay the Adobe tax and then download so I can convert it or do some, like most likely you have to buy some software. Now with Claude, and there's nothing intimidating. These are just tabs and it's just opening everything like a text editor, basically. Claude is going to do all of the work, and anytime you get stuck, Claude is going to literally tell you, "Hey, it worked. I did the program. There's 300 pages. He did the whole work for us, which is nice." So this is just version one of using Claude to create tools. So anything repetitive on your computer where you're like, "Man, I wish I pressed the button and it did some automation on my computer, and it could get pretty advanced." Claude will do all of that. We're going to now switch gears into the next example, which is pretty simple. So I'm just going to open a new folder. So I'm going to do File, New Window. It's the exact same thing. So you can open multiple windows with multiple projects or a project in each window inside VS Code. And so that you can work on multiple projects at the same time with Claude. Totally cool. So here I'm going to go to my Finder and we're going to build a website with Claude as a real simple demo. Actually, I want you guys to actually build an assessment because website's pretty simple. We're going to build actually an assessment, for example. We're allowed to so I can just copy paste the files in Claude and then summarize the files. Yep. Donnie, yes, you can. Yeah, if there's a bunch of PDF or a bunch of files that you have to read, putting them all in a folder in any of the tools, Claude, ChatGPT, GenSpark, they'll all do the same thing. Then you can summarize or extract that information very easily. So the key thing is everyone getting comfortable with project folders. So in here, I'm going to create a new folder. If I can find a little white space, come on. Find a little corner. There we go, new folder. I'm gonna call this one website demo. And I'm going to put him in my folder of all my projects. Cool. And now I can open it in Claude or VS Code. So there's my documents. There's the Python programs website demo, which there is nothing in here. Perfect. Let's get Claude. So we're gonna do the little arrow. I think it's like shift and then the key with the period that has this little arrow and then type Claude. It's like, yo, Claude, come over. We want to talk. I got work for you. So now we have Claude and we have a project folder for website demo. I want you to design a assessment that is 5 questions to help a entrepreneur or professional find and identify the best AI tool for them. And the answers can either be ChatGPT, Claude, or GenSpark. And then I want you to have a little animation that shows that you're doing some processing, show them the results, and add confetti at the very end when they complete it. Remember, when you build any type of apps, uh, highly recommend to add confetti. So basically, we're going to pop this in the oven, and then I'll just say, build this. Remember, our rule is build this as a single page HTML file. That is the key thing. So now Claude, and you can take screenshots, you can go find references. Now, instead of building just a website, this is going to build a survey or a questionnaire, which is one, a great lead magnet that you could put for any of your businesses. If you're like, hey, really like this example. This this guy is a marathon coach. So he teaches people how to run marathons. And he has an assessment that says, how marathon ready are you? And they answer 10 questions. And at the very end, they say, oh, you're a 5 out of 10 ready for your marathon. You're missing A, B, and C. Sign up for my coaching. So it basically shows the gap from where they are to where they need to be. A great example is, are you AI ready? An assessment to find out, are you actually using the right AI tools in the right way to get which is most of the most up-to-date tools instead of using outdated tools. So, and then you could hook up. Now, Claude's asking, hey, I would like to create a file here. I'm like, yeah, Claude, do whatever you want. Say yes. Like, Claude, whatever you want to do. Yes. Also, I probably forgot to put black and gold as my color palette. That's an easy change. Okay, so now Claude says, hey, I'm done. That was fast. Everything is just so fast with Claude too. Any of these AI tools. So now he has a website right here. This is where that one extension, live server, is going to come in. So you can see here, he created an HTML file. You can see the HTML there, the little icon also. If you two finger click or right click on it, there's an option here that says open in live server. That's that extension, free extension that we downloaded. All he does is open your beautiful website in a browser so that we could be like, oh, find the perfect AI tool. AI probably going to be for this answer. How do you prefer? Probably this. What's your da da da? Oh, probably that. I didn't tell him what questions to put to. He figured out his own questions. And then we should get confetti, analyzing. Oh, it's really thinking too. Boom, got some confetti. You know you're a developer when you add confetti to your apps. And now he says, hey, based on our analysis and your survey questions, ChatGPT is the best one. Here's why, blah, 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 blah. And you can take the assessment again. To build this in another tool like Typeform is another great one. For example, there's a few other ones that would cost 40 bucks and an hour of my time to set up every little question, hook up the logic and stuff like that. Now, at the very end of this, I can get super nerdy. Um, this is kind of where, if you still want to get into NAN and NAN or Zapier or Make.com kind of comes in, you can create a webhook, which is basically just like almost like a phone number that you could call. You could create a webhook that once this completes, it sends the data to that webhook that then adds it to your CRM, adds it to your email list, sends them a welcome email, for example, anything like that. For example, actually, I do want to show you that example of like how crazy it could get. I have uh, NAN is an automation tool that allows you to build it's pretty much automations in the cloud. Um, so when people go to my website, that was all vibe coded using Claude. Claude built all of this beautiful website. I spent no effort on it. I just told him a lot of things I wanted to do. But and then you go through a very similar assessment. So when you go through these questions, and if I click through, so at the very end of this survey, um, all I did was tell Claude, hey, Claude, I've built an automation and there is a webhook. A webhook, real simple, all it does is give you a little public URL that you can call anytime. And that's what this hook is. So, and you just give it to Claude, say, hey, Claude, when they finish the survey, use this webhook. Because then once they finish it, I'll receive all the answers from the survey. I'll add them to my email list. I'm using NAN for just a database, so you can save a huge database of that way I don't need another tool for a CRM. You have AI agents here that have prompts. So when you build, so this whole thing is just a prompt to say, hey, take the user's answers to the questions that they came and write them a personalized email. That's pretty much what this does. And then once it writes them a personalized email, I save it to the database. I send me an email with all of their details. That way I can say, oh, so and so is looking for one-on-one coaching or something. And then I'll send them, this will automatically send them an email saying, hey, we noticed that you're interested in coaching. So this is that so it helps people guide them to the right product as well too. So this is a NAN automation. You could build this in Zapier or make.com, really doesn't matter. But he's hooked up to the Vibe coded website through a webhook so that, and all built through Claude and VS Code. So that's how you can get like, see how advanced these can be. And that cost me nothing other than a Claude subscription, which is nice. Can you replace that NAN flow with Claude instead? The question comes then, where is the server for the automation that's going to do that? If it's your computer is the server, then yes, you can completely hook up your own server that can do the whole automation when they fill out the form on the website. Um, and you can run NAN locally on your computer. If you're in the cloud, you're going to use most likely, there's many different services, but Hostinger. And Hostinger, you're going to get what's called a VPS, which is a virtual private server right here, VPS. And basically, you're just buying a computer in the cloud, basically, a small little computer for $5 a month, basically. And $5 a month gets you this nice little computer right here, which is more than enough to run NAN on, because you could download NAN, and instead of paying $25 a month for NAN or any of the automation tools and being limited based on how many automations and workflows that you can do, you can self-host NAN and run it for $7 a month. And then you can now have this automation running in class. So it just depends, where is the server for the automation going to live locally on your computer? Great, you're responsible for uptime, or in the cloud using a VPS, which is what this is. This is automation hosted in Hostinger on that $7 per month plan. And now I could run unlimited operations, unlimited workflows, for example. So that's one there. Cool. So he's done a tool, he's done an assessment. I want to see if we can get into, we're kind of short on time, but I want to show you guys. Nice, so you're not paying for any and all just hosting, sir. Yes. So when you get when you start doing automations, your choices are Zapier, Make.com, NAN. Zapier, Make.com are just like so expensive. NAN just has a high learning curve. But NAN, when you go to their website, is going to be $25 a month to use NAN on their server. But NAN is also open source. So you can, and I have a YouTube video too on my YouTube playlist that shows you how to self-host, basically sign up for Hostinger, and then you could drop it from $7 a month or $25 a month down to $7 a month, especially for automation. And then you run unlimited workflows, unlimited operations, and then you're just paying the hosting fee, which is super nice. You can even run it on your own computer. If you have a desktop computer that's powerful enough that's just going to be a local server, you could totally run NAN on your computer and drop that $7 a month cost. It gets really interesting. With this, we don't have much time to go into like building apps with this, but I do want to show another workflow. With Claude Code, that's pretty much the workflows. You're going to be creating some folder, give Claude a task, and then Claude is basically going to go off and work on that task. If you hit a limit on Claude usage, which you will, because you're going to be jamming your coding and things are so great, Claude's going to be like, "Oh, I'm tired. I'm going to take a break and take a 3 hour timeout." Instead of paying the $100 a month next tier plan for Claude, you can just buy another Claude subscription from another email using the same card. And now you're spending $40. Yeah, well, yeah, $20. Yeah, $40 a month. And now you have two Claudes that you can get two usage out of. It just depends. That way you don't have to get the $100 a month plan for the plan for usage. The other thing that you could hook up is you're not limited to Claude here. You also have Gemini right here because we downloaded the extension from the extensions right here. There's Gemini. So in the extensions, you could hook up Gemini, just sign in here, and then you could have Gemini continue to do your coding, do your editing, basically. And then on the other side is this one's called Continue. Continued is just allows you to hook up any other model. They have quite a few. They have DeepSeek, they have Grok, many different models. These are all just, again, coding assistants to help you build or vibe code. Let's see if maybe I could open a more little complex project just to show you guys what you can really build with Claude. So content automation is one of the biggest things. Yeah, content automation machine. Okay. So this is just to show you what's possible with Claude and how advanced that you could take it. This is a project folder that is my content automation machine. It's designed to create 40-second videos and handle the entire content process from idea all the way to posting. The whole thing done. Roughly, it costs roughly 50 cents to $1 per 40-second video to generate. That's with B-roll, with me talking, editing, all of that. So this is a project that we can just pop open Claude here to say, hey, Claude, can you, I think I could just run this from the terminal. Let's see, let me just run this. Python 3 run.py. Is it already in use? There we go. I just mistyped it. Okay, cool. So there's some elements in here or components that I want to show you. Let me see if maybe we can get a final video. I may have to log in to show you a final video. Let's see. So what he does, I'll just pick this one for example. He's designed. Newspapers are suing AI. There we go. The Chicago Tribune just sued Perplexity, this AI search thing. They're saying Perplexity is basically stealing their articles, showing them to people without permission. So this is my digital avatar. This isn't me. I did not take this photo. I did not get on camera. I did not say this script. This whole thing is auto-generated using HeyGen. There are many different API services out there to supercharge your apps where you don't have to pay the monthly subscription from the front end. You could go in through the back door and use them per request and actually much cheaper too. So some of the model or when you build your app, there's a few elements to your app that you're gonna have. You're gonna have some database, some list. So this is just a database of content, for example. So you're gonna store some data. And I recommend just telling Claude to say, hey, build a database using what's called SQLite. um, SQLite, and you don't have to know anything about it. It's just a small database for him to store data on your computer. Your Now, this is a content production, so he's going to go through each of the steps of fetching to go get articles, reading the articles, generating image prompts, A-roll, generating image prompts, generating the script, generating captions, generating animation video, generating a thumbnail, editing everything together, and then scheduling to publish. So he goes through this whole cycle in like batches, and then we'll stitch together each of the pieces so that this is just one piece of content. All of this is stored and takes no effort for me to create content. You're going to save the name of the article, the link, the full article itself. So this is just to show like you're going to be saving some database to store information for you to work with. And when you're building automation, you have to use different services to like create a piece of content. For example, oh, I got to go to Sora to create some animation. I got to go to HeyGen to create a video. I got to go to Nano Banana to create a thumbnail. All different services, they all can be connected to your app automatically, all using APIs, which are just basically you're just calling the service and just placing your order. Um, Kai is another third party. Uh, Let me actually get this. Yeah, cool. Kai is a API service that you could just fund it with like $5, but you get access to generate any type of video using any of the popular video models. Also, any type of image using the most popular image models. So that if you're creating a bunch of images for your content, for example, and you got to go to that website over, you don't have to pay the monthly subscription. You can actually get more runway and pay just per usage on the back end and then have that completely automated where it's now your model. You're going to just tell Claude, hey, hook up, because now you're not connecting. Google Gemini, Google AI Studio makes it very nice to hook up image, video, because it's all Google products underneath the hood. This is where you're now building much more complex apps using Claude. And then with it, Claude is writing all of the programs. I'm not going to edit any of that. The most that you have to do is add your API keys from whatever services that you're using to in a .env file is one of the biggest important things there. But Claude is going to be doing all of the editing and creation so that something like this app, this thing can go and create an entire piece of content in about 8 minutes. And then it could do batches of like 10 at a time, 20 at a time, all completely automated without you having to log into a website to generate, get the content idea, read the content, generate the script, generate the title, generate or even edit the video and find animations. All of that can be completely automated using Claude, especially on your computer. So I'm gonna pause there. I know we don't have much time to go into like building a more automation app with like APIs does take time to actually go and just build it all out. But Claude is going to build it all for you, which is one of the biggest things. That's like super nice. So that you can build tools, which is like the Python code, websites like the assessment, or full automation apps like this thing or this automation that runs. I don't need like NA. That whole thing was originally built in NAN to automate my content. I just took that whole NAN file, which you could download as a JSON file, give it to Claude, and Claude will rebuild it using his own. I mean, you're not limited to Claude will write all the code for building the services, building the API, and you're just going to work patiently with him and also hitting the usage limits too, basically, which is one of the biggest things. I'm going to pause there. That's pretty much the most to make you guys dangerous with setting up Claude. And then that's pretty like what I would love for you guys to do as homework is if you can get Claude up and just create a website using Claude, that would be a huge first step. You don't have to get into the app building, but this will be a huge step that will help you from there. The last thing too is there is what's called Google Anti-Gravity. I know it's the weirdest name. Google Anti-Gravity is a forked or a clone of VS Code, walks, talks, acts, everything like VS Code. The only difference is Google put Gemini and the other Google products, just like Google Studio, inside of it so that you can build apps still inside of the Google ecosystem. But if you want to do stuff like create folders, edit files, and have it build for you, and have it continue to run instead of like outside of VS Code or outside of Google AI Studio to build much more complex apps, anti-gravity is going to be really, really powerful for that. Donnie says, I'm using Hypernatural for video creation. Is HeyGen better or something better? For video, it just depends. For your like cloning yourself, there's really just a few for cloning yourself. There's D-ID AI clone. I know the name is the weirdest thing. This is called D.ID. This is one API service that you can build an avatar clone of yourself and then access it through the API. HeyGen is going to be the pricier one, but it's going to be the most realistic. If you want an avatar of yourself that looks like you, talks like you, also in any different language, that is pretty much going to do there. And then here, the other one is Kai.ai for all video. That's going to be one of the biggest ones there. Trying to think of any other APIs. Those are like the main ones. For workbooks for courses with visuals in GenSpark the best to use? Yes. So for GenSpark, if you have to create presentations, actually presentation slides are a little, especially for visuals, I'd actually start with Notebook LM because with Notebook LM, you can take your workbooks from courses. I'll just pick this one. And once you upload them here, it could be books, it could be files, could be PDFs, could be anything like that. Then from here on the right-hand side, you have infographics, which will just create one big infographic. There's slide decks, which I would recommend use because that will create your visuals for the presentation. And then GenSpark is really good for just regular like presentation slides. So this is a GenSpark presentation. This whole thing was created using GenSpark. I'd spent no time, no effort. I just gave GenSpark the information. It's actually way better than, well, again, if you're paying extra for like Gamma, GenSpark's actually better because they will do the whole research and the crazy thing too is also you have Nano Banana inside of here, so you can create infographics, you can create the presentation, and you can do all the research inside of GenSpark. So it pretty much just saves an extra subscription, so you don't need Gamma. And then this will export into Google Slides and also I believe PowerPoint too. Yeah, PowerPoint or PDF, and then you can import this into Canva, which is one of the biggest things. Good questions. Any other questions? Cool beans. Nice. Let's see. Need to use GenSpark credits. Always nervous about using GenSpark. You don't. The credits, GenSpark, you do have to be cautious of the credits that, because GenSpark gives you 10,000 credits every single month, and it will chew through a lot of credits. You want to leave Claw or GenSpark for high level advanced work like deep research, creating documents, creating presentations. I wouldn't use it for the app building as well too, because with the app building, you're going to burn a lot of credits, and it's better just to hang out in Google Studio basically. So if you have the credits, you want to split up responsibilities technically on three levels. Um, GenSpark's going to be the highest level for like deep work and stuff. Middle to that is ChatGPT, honestly, because it's unlimited for the $20 a month subscription. That way you can just answer or you could just go through bounce mainly for troubleshooting, bouncing ideas back and forth. And then sub to that is actually Cider. Cider is an AI writing assistant that's going to help you write where you are on the screen or on the computer. So those three levels will help you rewrite your grammar and writing tasks, bouncing ideas, troubleshooting, going back and forth without burning any credits. You could use Claude or GenSpark, Claude or ChatGPT, and then GenSpark is going to do for deep research, strategy. Your business hub is going to be very important. Let's see. Excellent questions. Let's see. Which AI do you recommend for writing a book 300 to 400 pages? Writing your book is actually a big thing. It's actually going to be Claude is going to be the best one for writing your book, mainly because you're going to have a project hub just like this. So I'm writing my book for Amazon. And with it, it has all of PDF and Markdown files that are all related to writing, copywriting, book writing, referencing, all my notes. And Claude is the best as far as like writing. So it's really if you're going to write a book, start with a Claude subscription. You are going to upgrade to the $100 a month plan because you're going to burn through trying to get through a whole book as an output. You're basically going to output one chapter at a time, which is very important. But Claude would do the whole writing. And then Noella's, yeah, Notebook LM is incredibly powerful. And it actually does some really crazy stuff with like summarizing. And again, with that Chrome extension, that way you could put all of those YouTube videos and all of that inside of there. What was the link to? Oh, I have actually, let me give you guys 1,000 free credits for GenSpark if you guys haven't signed up for GenSpark. I do have an affiliate code for that because it'll give you guys a discount, thousand extra credits, and it goes to support the channel. Let's see. Here it is. This one's for GenSpark. Will you make a YouTube replay and document for this? Yes, I will create a YouTube video and document for this. I'll probably just end the day for that. And then I think I put the YouTube channel or the YouTube video here. So this is that's the YouTube video for yesterday's. And then also the that is the PDF book for that's actually the PDF book version of yesterday's entire class, so all using GenSpark, so you can actually see GenSpark. Nice. So, quick things if you want to take it to next skills or continue to grow, this class doesn't advance outside of the community. If you're inside the community, we're going to go much more advanced as we've been doing since last week. So, if you guys are interested, highly recommend join the community. I definitely got to put the link if you guys want to join. And then I do have 6 spots open for one-on-one coaching. If you guys don't want courses, and you want me to actually work with you every single week where you are and show you how to actually use the right AI tools, plus so much more, not just building your app. I do have spots open. All you have to do is just enter your email in the Zoom chat, and I'll send you an email and we could book a call and talk about your goals. Inside there, that's the community link. And then in there we have courses. We actually meet Tuesday through Friday for live classes, office hours classes, tech support as well too. And then we've been doing, gosh, we've covered everything in there. We have like end-to-end, you have my whole content automation course in there. So we have a ton of stuff. And then that way in the community, I could work more closer with you, but some people want the one-on-one. So Chris, I'll reach out to you and we could book a one-on-one and then I could show you guys so much more cooler AI stuff because this is just scratching the tip. There's a lot when it comes to like automations and building apps, but this will give you enough confidence and dangerousness just to build with Claude as well too. But yeah, any other questions? Do you keep a replay for the session? I missed the beginning. Yes, it will be recorded and then it's going to be uploaded to my YouTube channel by end of day today. So if you go, I think here, actually I have a whole playlist actually here. Let me give you guys this. This is a whole YouTube playlist. I pretty much just took all of my best YouTube videos and dumped it here. excuse me, dump to here. There's Tick for task management. There's whole GenSpark, ChatGPT, Claude, Make.com automations, Fathom, AI note taking, AI certification training, ChatGPT, Make.com, AI voice agents. There is a ton of free content here. So this is just a free YouTube playlist that you guys could go and binge on YouTube. What to watch before I get these are going to stay forever on my YouTube channel. The yesterday's training and then today's training, that's just at the end of the day, it's just content for me for people that didn't attend. So both videos will stay up on my YouTube channel forever until YouTube gets taken down. Donnie says, have you used Higgsfield for cloning yourself? Your thoughts on it as a tool? Higgsfield is there's when you do videos and images, there are really two places that you're going to go as far as getting act other than just going straight to the source, for example. One is Higgsfield is a little more the premium side, just because they have so many different options, but you don't really need that many options, honestly. Um, the great thing about this one, honestly, the most videos is like Nano Banana for image, because Nano Banana is so good. It could do text. It could also take your headshot and put you on different faces, different bodies, different outfits, different locations. That's especially for cloning yourself. I would honestly just go to Google AI Studio because it's free, which is nice. And then in here, I would just play with the regular Nano Banana. So here, and I'll put this in the chat. Because now you get Nano Banana is completely free. In your GenSpark plan, if you have GenSpark, um, you have access to free unlimited Nano Banana for your subscription. They're having a special where images, where's the image? There's images. Yep, so you get unlimited usage of their image models, which is Nano Banana Pro, which is insanely good. Like here's Nano Banana Pro. Go ham on it. It does great infographics, cloning yourself, um, and then also text on an image. So like your ads, graphics, marketing material, even your content as well too. Nano Banana is like the GOAT right now. Harold says AI advanced so fast. This will probably be outdated in 4 months, so no reason to take it out. Yeah, I guess the sad thing is like 3 months from now, Google AI Studio is going to get beat out. Anti-gravity is going to beat out. Claude is going to get replaced by some other one. He'll come back. They'll kind of like they'll take out a new one will come in. It's most likely a Chinese model that comes in and forces all the US to like show their chips. It's because the Chinese models are so good, so cheap that you're going to end up when you start getting into using AI a lot in your API requests and automations, you're going to go for the Chinese models naturally, just because they're so cheap and so good. Yeah, 1 month in AI is like 8 months in the real world. Can you sign up anytime today? Yeah, for the community, that link with the automation link, that's live. It's the same link that you can even go to the normal website to join the community. And then in there, we meet Tuesday through Friday. You have tech support. You could chat with me. And then we have a discussion forum. But more importantly, you can meet the other members because there are some amazing people building some dope stuff in the community. There's Amazon sellers in there, there's e-commerce, there's coaches, consultants, there's automation agencies, there's people that are beginners. We have such a gamut, which is so interesting. But always better be to be up to yeah on everything because so that's one of the biggest things is that staying up to date with AI is overwhelming. There's many different tools. I'm sure when you open up TikTok or YouTube, you're like, oh my God, there's a new model every single day, and you're like, do I need it? Is it relevant? Is this do I need to cancel my current subscription and replace this one? Like, oh, that's like one of the biggest questions, and that's what the community is for. There, you could come in, ask your question, ask pretty much relates to your project, for example, that you're working on, and then we can basically clear. We in the community, for me, I'm like the gatekeeper on tools, and we've kind of touched already every best AI tool, and now we're just simplifying to be like, yo, ChatGPT, Claude, GenSpark. Those are your daily drivers. And then above that, NAN becomes irrelevant because now we're getting so much better with Claude Code and building more advanced code in there. Custom GPTs kind of become irrelevant because now we're building custom apps using Google AI Studio that pretty much you can embed your prompts in. You can select different models. Um, for Charlana. We meet Tuesday through Friday at 12 p.m., which I think is, yeah, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then if you miss it, we send out a Fathom recording at the end of the day, so you could get the replay, catch up on notes, and that's delivered to your email. That way, you're always up to date. And then we have the discussion forum where members are chatting in there as well too. Actually, I could kind of show you. We have like 100 and are we at 140 members? And we have, oh boy, we've covered every AI tool that's out there from NAN, HeyGen, voice agents. I've made it nice where there's like three levels to go through for like fundamentals of like just what I consider digital literacy. Just how do you touch a computer before you get into like AI? Just says like how do you use Mac on the basic level? How do you get organized with like task management, digital notebook management, password management? I find these as like the fundamentals before we throw you into AI that people have like get skilled with it. Your password manager, your task manager, your digital notebook, learning how to use Mac. Then we'll get you into custom GPTs and chat, especially mostly project folders. Then we have whole things on GenSpark, and it's more of those are just replays of our best videos. And then you come to the weekly meetings and you could get coaching, you could get support. I'll teach most likely 3 days out of the week of classes that I find people need to know about on workflows and what they're doing, and then a lot of coaching on the back end. Great questions. Mac, you mean my Surface? I will, I will convert all of you to Mac once you come in. Because the crazy thing is, it's not just the Mac, but there's certain software that isn't on Windows that when you touch a computer, here's a good example. There's what's called teleporting. And teleporting is basically, oh my God, I got to go to what's a good place? Oh, I got to go to my YouTube channel over and over again. Oh, that's I gotta. So if I want to go anywhere on the web, I gotta click on. I gotta go open up Chrome. I gotta go to the web. I gotta type, let's say, YouTube.com, and then I gotta go to my library. Say I want to go to my library, my YouTube, for example. I gotta click here, and then I gotta click over here, and then I gotta click get to over here. Where's my content, which I think is here. Okay, just to get to here. So that was like 5, 6 clicks. That took a ton of time, like 40 seconds to a minute, just to get to this one specific place on the page, for example. Um, with you could also do this with like Raycast as well too. Alfred is a software that you can install on your Mac that allows you to index all of your bookmarks. So every important place that you go to on the web, you want to bookmark it so that now if I want to go to my YouTube library, I just bring up Alfred. This is a little black bar right here. And right here, I just type library. So there's YouTube library. I press enter and it opens up Chrome. It takes me directly to that one specific bookmark and loads and cuts out what I call that whole travel time. So literally one click, library, and I'm instantly there. So that is stuff like that that can really help you move quicker online. In addition, there's a lot of little stuff in there. You could do the same with like Raycast if you have a PC. And Raycast is actually has some really cool stuff with like AI. So I do recommend Raycast too. Nice, nice, nice. Cool beans. Awesome. Next weekend may or may not be the same topic. I think it's just going to be, we had a really good turnout for this one, so it's going to be the same workshop. So it's not going to get more advanced than this unless you're inside the community, because we're going to continue off. We finished this curriculum last week, and so we're going to continue on this week and build more complex. We're going to get to automating your content with building inside of Claude. That's going to be for inside the community. And then I'll reach out to Chris for one-on-one coaching. And then for everyone else, definitely there's also the YouTube playlist there that has a ton of free stuff. So I highly recommend just stay up to date with the YouTube channel. That's going to be where I'll be posting a lot of new stuff from there. Do you teach on Blotato? Not specifically because not how to use Blotato inside of the app, but I do teach it as far as it's the best API service for automating content distribution through an automation, for example. So whether that be NaN or even in Claude Code, just basically, for example, having a Blotato API key is going to be the easiest to get if you're doing like content automation where you're publishing on multiple channels and you want that automated. Blotato's the best for like, I think it's like 29 bucks a month. You can hook up all your social media channels, and then she has a really good API that you could hook up. Caveat though, you have to hook it up so that your app functions as a server. It can't execute when it's running on your local computer. Just a little caveat with that. So it's like you kind of have to push it to Vercel to kind of have it send the request for Blotato to accept it, because the API is set up to not accept requests if they're not from an actual server. Super nerdy thing if you want to get like super nerd, but that's more of like in the community, we're going to be using Blotato for our content automation that we're vibe coding. AI browsers, I do not recommend AI browsers. I know, shocker. Do not recommend Claw or GenSpark has theirs, Comet has theirs, Atlas is another one. I don't recommend any of them. More, I recommend Chrome, and I have dozens of Chrome extensions that are much native. And if you want AI in your browser, honestly, Cider is the best because Cider is 20 bucks a month. Oh, no, it's 10 bucks a month, actually. You could get the free plan and it will last you pretty generous because you're not going to use it that often. You're really using Cider pops out on your window on your Chrome extension right here so that you can access it on any window that if you're on the email or you're in writing a document. Basically, what Cider does is gives you quick access to AI that you can, it's mostly improve your writing. It's basically like answer this, fix my grammar, improve my writing, make it longer, make it shorter, answer this quick question. But what it solves is that you don't have to leave the browser tab to get that task done. Versus like you got to go to ChatGPT, say fix my grammar, write me a better email, then you got to copy paste and go back to the other tab. That becomes eliminated because in the hierarchy of tasks that you're going to give to AI, there's three levels. This is the bottom level, which is just I call it fix my writing, and that is going to be Cider. Let me actually give you guys the link here. They have a generous free plan too. Like, because you're mostly going to use it, and I'm going to show you the most right here. Outside of having that little sidebar that pops out. So let's say I'm on a document. Let's say right here, for example. It could be on any window. Let's say you're typing something. I'll just actually copy this sentence right here. So whatever you're typing, it could be on an email, it could be anywhere. You could highlight your text and see this little pop-up right here. This is Cider. And because he's on Chrome and in your Chrome extension, so Cider, I now click this one button, improve. He feeds my writing to AI, fixes my writing, makes me sound smarter with perfect grammar, and then I click one button, replace, and it replaces my writing. So I do that like 14, 20 times a day because that you don't need Grammarly as well too. So that's what Cider's doing is Cider's just helping you fix your writing where you are. And then you go into the higher level, which is like next one is like ChatGPT for like troubleshooting, bouncing ideas. And then higher to that as far as like tasks and complexity, the highest is GenSpark. You could do GenSpark or Manus. Cider has a free plan, but then after, uh, it's worth it for the $10 a month because then you're not burning your GenSpark or your other credits as well too. And then actually, if you're in the community, we have one of the first lessons is all of the AI tools that I use. So there's one, yeah. As soon as you come into the lesson, the first thing I'll share with you is all of my tools. And then I'm going to start you off with some Mac basics and then task management. So we have a nice curriculum that starts you from very bare bones basics and then upskills you. And then our week events, geez, oh boy, do we have. You will not fall behind with AI. You'll get the answers that you need. You'll know exactly what tools and how are people using them. And then you'll get inspired by seeing other members and the projects that they're working on. You're just not building alone. It's the biggest thing. Yes, none of this stuff that's in here is on my YouTube channel. All this stuff is premium content with no commercials because all the other stuff also has commercials on YouTube. By the way, if you really want like education wise, I would recommend like I think it's like $14 a month for YouTube Premium because it's then you get ad free and you can also listen to it on your mobile device when it's like turned off or like screens off. Because at that point, treat YouTube as basically YouTube University. There's tons of free content. Just put it up there and just listen. I also have a podcast there. Um, I think the podcast is mostly hanging out. I need to create a playlist for the podcast, but I have a podcast that I'll talk about just AI. So you don't have to look at your screen. I can just tell you what's the newest, what's going on in AI. And I usually live stream every single day, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on TikTok. And actually, it's mostly TikTok just because their live stream is just more better. So usually around 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'll live stream from there and do like an hour of Q&A, answer questions, because everything is content. Are Common and GenSpark basically modified Chromes? Yes, they're forked what's called Chromium. Chromium, they're basically just took Chrome's their framework and they forked it and then they embedded either ChatGPT in it or GenSpark with it. Um, the most you're going to get into those is I do recommend, what's it called? Brow browser use. Browser use, let's say you're building some automation, for example, NAN, make.com, Chrome, or Claude, for example, but there's some things you can't automate. For example, LinkedIn, responding to comments on LinkedIn. Can't really automate that with any of the automation tools. So that's where tools like this come into play. This is browser use. These are browser agents. I want you to think of agents as experts in a specific tool. Expert in creating Word documents, expert in searching the web, expert in navigating the web. So that's what browser use is. It's a browser agent that really is good at navigating a complex website autonomously with you giving it minimal guidance other than the goal. So these guys are pretty gangster because they can navigate. I mean, great example is like go to like a pet store. Go to let's see if I get this one so I can show a demo. Go to navigate a pet store and go ahead and add things to the shopping cart. And it's all on the code base. So right now, he is going to load. There we go. Loads a website. It scans the whole website and we'll find the objects, we'll search the web. It's navigating completely autonomously. So it's going through the web to try and figure out, okay, how do I add these specific products to an Instacart thing? That's something you can't really automate, but using tools like this, like browser use, you can automate any like searching for flights is a common example. LinkedIn comments is another example, because you're going to hire more AI agents than full-time employees. You just need the skill set to learn how to build agents so that I have quite a few of agents in my business that are responding. You saw the one that's responding to the emails. He's an agent that anytime someone fills out the survey form, which a couple of people did, he reads the answers, writes them a personalized answer, and sends them an email. So he's an email agent. And so that's where these things get really powerful for a business because you can automate, eliminate a lot of your work. And every business, I do recommend either you have to hire or upskill someone to be the AI expert in your business, or that could be you, or you're going to depend on consultants. But you do need connection to some AI expert that's going to show you how to use AI in your business because 2026, if you don't have AI in your business, you're pretty much screwed. You're going to see a lot of decline and stagnation, and your competitors are going to crush you so sadly. Oh my gosh. Because we could build content automations and browser agents, and it gets, they're really sophisticated now that you can build all sorts of AI agents to automate a lot of your lead gen, your content generation, your sales. Ray says, what about going through a real estate website and pulling list images to create content and post? Yeah, you could scrape it depends on, there's different scraping tools to scrape that image. There's either, depending on different API services, Firecrawl is one API service that allows you to scrape, it was mostly for like news sources. If you have like news articles that you want to scrape for your content. That's one. The other one is Apollo. No, Apify. Apify has a library of AI agents that will go out and scrape the top performing videos from a specific YouTube channel or Instagram or LinkedIn account or search for trending hashtags related to your industry to pull the most trending articles, save them, reverse engineer them using Gemini or something like that. Apify scrape TikTok videos, extract data from videos, hashtags. Fun fact, if you take a short form video and you give it to Gemini, Gemini is the only model that can actually watch a video. All the other ones are relying on the transcription. Google Gemini will actually watch frame by frame and actually answer, show me in the video where the gentleman wearing the red jacket came in, and it will find it and show it, and it's terrifyingly good. So that's another way to scrape. I'm actually building a couple content automation for some clients. That way they don't have to do it. Because automated content is one of the biggest things everyone wants to do. Beautiful. Last call for questions. Nice, nice, nice. Main things, keep playing with AI. Just dedicate 30 minutes a day, either playing with the same tool, because I rather you go deeper on the tools than picking up a new shiny tool. Pick one tool for like 3 weeks and just go deep on it, 30 minutes a day, press all the buttons. I'd want you guys to be well versed with the fundamentals of ChatGPT, Claude, GenSpark, because those three guys and even Google is so good to help you with anything in your business. Very powerful. Awesome. I appreciate all of you showing up today and learning AI. Next week, again, it's if I do this one again, I probably will just TBD because this was a little high level for a lot. But I really want to throw you guys in the deep end. So maybe a recap of it. But yeah, and then definitely want to recommend join the community because that's where we go a lot deeper. And then Chris will definitely reach out for working one-on-one with you. I'm having a special on the one-on-one coaching. That I would recommend if you're like, hey, I'm not interested in courses. I'm just looking for that email. I'm not interested in courses and group training. I need you to show me exactly what to click and what to use in my business. That's what the one-on-one coaching is. Cool beans. So I found it. There we go. Awesome. Look out for the email. That's going to have the replay video and the workbook as well too. And then I'll see you guys probably have another one pretty soon. Awesome. Hope you guys have a blessed day. Thank you so much for learning AI on a Sunday, and I'll see you guys everyone online. Have a blessed day. Bye.
Thank you.